Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Jurassic World Alive video, where this time we'll be doing rare non-hybrids ranked from worst to best, using the glorious JWA toolbox made by Apophenia. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I mean, if you guys don't use this, then you should use this. This JWA toolbox is amazing. Anyways, I'm not sure what else to. Oh yeah, wait, never mind. The criteria for this is against the other rare non-hybrids, level 26, no boosts. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Number 52, and yes, there's 52. There are a lot of these. The number 52, we have Caprosuchus. Capro is it's just terrible. I don't know why anyone would use this, ever. Um, Its health isn't the worst, but its damage is pretty bad. Its speed's good, sure. And it's got okay resistances. But its moveset is one of the worst movesets I've ever seen. Fear Strike, sure, it's okay. Group Ferocity Strike's kind of bad because it only goes into effect for that Group Ferocity Strike and the attack you do afterwards. And Group Cleansing Strike, it's a good move on its own, but why does it have two basic strikes with no cooldown and one of the worst ferocious buffing moves in the entire game? That's just unnecessary. I miss the days when this thing was actually good. Like, it had, like, Ferocious Impact and Cleansing Impact with, like, 1200 attack and a swap-in move. Back before, I think it was before 1.7. It was just so good, and now it's so terrible. That's Caprosuchus. I don't want to be reminded of how bad this thing is anymore. At number 51, we have a Tupendaculus, which is the former worst rare until Capro got nerfed. This thing is also extremely trash. It's got low health, low attack, and good speed. Fence Shouting Strike, short defense, impact and run, armor using counter, and swap and ferocity. This has the problem that Majongosaurus had, or has, but even worse because it has even less health. Sure, it's faster, so it can get the shield up more reliably, but its health is just non-existent. And its shield is only short defense. So yeah, this thing is just not good at all. Yeah. At number 50, we have Tanatosaurus. Tanatosaurus is one of two rare hadrosaurs, and this one's the worst one. So, it's got good health, low attack, mediocre speed, group cleansing strike, lesser group heal, greater emergency heal. 2 heals is good for raids, but this is not for raids. This is for, like PvP. And group cleansing strike's not that great of a basic move. It just fails to make any impact in the arena. Whatsoever. It's just not good at all. At number 49, we have Bahatosaurus. This thing is just a Spirit Vulnerability Devastation type creature done horribly wrong. 4350 health is awful for a sauropod, and its effective HP is also 4350 because it completely lacks armor. And 4350 effective HP is horrible for a Spirit Vulnerability Devastation creature. And its base damage is also really bad, only having 900, and its speed's only 108. I mean, it can't get slowed down, which is good, but still, this thing is really, really bad. Spirit Vulnerability, its moveset's okay. Spirit Vulnerability is a very good basic move. Taunting Bellows, man, Devastation's good. Swap and Heal actually kind of sucks. But, you usually go Spirit Vulnerability and then Taunting Bellow and then Devastation, or Taunting Bellow then Spirit Vulnerability and then Devastation. But it rarely survives to get the devastation off, just because it's not tanky enough. Number 48, we have Megalosaurus. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This was a good rare before 2.0. It had, like, 4,500 health. And same damage. I think it had 1,200 damage and 127 speed. And I think it actually had the same moveset. But just, it's really tanky back then, and it still was super fast. Not so much anymore. Its health is really bad now, and it does have great resistances, but yeah, and it's got shielded accelerating strike, which is good. Accelerating impact's okay. Digging is good, and swap and heal is bad. And it's just the health. It will not survive more than one hit against anything that does a somewhat decent amount of damage. And that's why this thing is really bad. Number 47, we have Edmontosaurus. Where's Edmontosaurus? It's right there. So this is basically just an upgraded version of Tanatosaurus. More health, same attack, one less speed, same group hunting strike, and same lesser group heal, but the greater emergency heal is swapped out for a resilience impact, which it actually has the capability to do some damage. This thing is still far from good, but it's definitely better than Tanatosaurus. At number 46, we have one that a lot of people think should be higher, and I think it's really bad, and it's Triceratops. I remember when the Ceratopsians were actually good. Like when Triceratops had what 4,740 health, and like 1,300 attack, and like greater stunning impact, and greater stunning strike, and all that. And it was so good. And it sucks now. It is terrible. It has horrible health, and the armor doesn't really help it that much with this health value. And its damage isn't very good, and its speed's not very good either. And Resilient Strike's good. Its moveset's okay. Resilient Strike's good. Digging's good. Greater Stunning Strike. It's okay. Swap and Stunning Strike's good. It just doesn't survive. Yeah. That's really my big problem with Triceratops. At number 45, we have Untitled Gentoo. Yeah. This thing I'd say is a little bit better than it was when it was added in 2.0, but it's still really bad. 3,000 health, 1,000 attack, 130 speed, swap offense immunity, evasive strike, fearless flap, innocent distraction. Yeah. Poor thing. The Eagles in this game just aren't very good. Fearless flap, I would say, is one of the best moves in the entire game. But evasive strike's pretty weak, and instant distraction doesn't help this creature that much. Because it doesn't need to stall. And its stats are atrocious. Its health and damage are really bad. And it only has 1 times damage moves. So yeah. It's bad. Number 44, we have Argentinosaurus. Another really bad rare sauropod. So this thing has 5,400 health, which is a lot. It's got actually better damage than like Apatosaurus at 1,100. 102 speed, which is of course really bad. 20% crit chance. Resilient strike's alright, but group decelerating strike is terrible, and extended critical strike is even worse. They nerfed extended critical strike. Actually, they made it to where it only lasts for 2 turns. Before it lasted for 3. And they did it at the same time as making it have group decelerating strike instead of decelerating impact. Poor Argentino. Really, you're just going to go extended critical strike and then resilient, and then another resilient, and then another resilient, and then extended critical strike. And I doubt it would survive that long. This thing does not make any impact on anything in the arena. Number 43, we have Irritator. If this was a raid tier list, this would undoubtedly be number 1. Not just for rares, but probably in the entire game for raids. But for arena, it's not good. It's got pretty decent base stats. It's these base stats, and it can't be slowed. But its moveset is not optimized for arena. Defense Shouting Strike, Ready to Crush, and Group Takedown. I mean, if you could survive enough to get Ready to Crush and Group Takedown, then your Defense Shouting Strike will deal 2,000 damage, and if you get a crit, that'll be 2,500, and you'll actually have like a 60% chance of getting a crit. But that'll only be for that one attack, because Group Takedown only works for one attack. It's better than Capro, but still not very good. Number 42, we have one that I think is a little bit overrated, and that's Scaphognathes. When this was added, this thing was great. It had 3450 health, where now it has much less. That I think it actually had the same damage and speed here, shown here. But it had pinning strike, still had swoop, and it still had a heal. But heals, I think heals were different back then, and it still had swap and wound. The main problem that it has compared to before is its health. Its health is terrible now. Its moveset's okay. I mean, Strike's really bad, and Minor Swoop's not that great, but you usually just swap and wound, heal, and then Minor Swoop, and yeah. But you're not going to survive that long, because it only has 2700 health. Yeah, it's just not good. Number 41, it pains me to say this, but number 41, we have Postosuchus. Who remembers the days when this thing was just amazing? When this thing was one of the best rare non-hybrids in the game. It had what, like 1450 base damage with ferocious impact. And it had the highest turn 1 damage in the game back then. Although, of course, there are some things now that have higher turn 1 damage, but still, that was insane and amazing. And it had like 3600 health then. Now it just sucks. It's only got 3000 health now. It's only got 1200 damage. It's, yeah, 126 speed, 20% crit chance. It does have these resistances, which I guess are alright, but still. Fierce Strikes, Group Roasty Strike sucks, and Adrenaline Pulse is one of the worst healing moves. Just simply because it only heals for 1 time, and it has a cooldown of 3. Postosuchus, poor thing. And as a number 40, we have Antoidon. Where is it? It's right there. This is much better than Argentinosaurus, but it's still not good. 3600 health with no armor. I thought it had like 10% armor, but okay. 1200 damage with a 30% crit chance and 122 speed. Can't be stunned. Defense Shattering Strike, Mutual Fury, and Group Shattering Impact. You almost always think of Mutual Fury turn 1 and a Group Shattering Impact, which will deal 2700 damage. But it's just a shell of its former self, because before, I believe it had like almost the same attack and the same Mutual Fury, but it had like a Defense Shattering Rampage instead. But yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not good either. Number 39, we have something that I think is just a slight upgrade of Antoidon, and that's Baryonyx Gen 2. It's got more health, a little bit less damage, 1 more speed, and slightly less crit chance, but it can't be slowed. Defense Shattering Strike, Ready to Crush, and Defense Shattering Impact. You're just going to go Ready to Crush and then Defense Shattering Impact. Dealing 2250 damage. You can switch Antoidon and Baryonyx Gen 2, but this is what I think about the two. Number 38, we have Tupendaculus. Very low health. I think this has the third lowest health for any Stegosaur in the entire game. Only ahead of Miragaia and the Sungaia. With no armors, that doesn't help. And low attack and horrific speed. Its base stats are atrocious. Its moveset's not the worst, though. Its only strike's good. We're not going to talk about Group Decelerating Strike. And Precise Rampage is alright, with Decelerating Counter and Swap and Slow. You just usually do Precise Rampage and Decelerating Counter and then probably die the next turn. But it does have some okay damage output. It just doesn't do that much. Number 37, we have Dodicarus Gen 2. Where is it? There it is. So 4050 health, which is actually pretty decent for Cunning. With 1000 damage, 125 speed. Distraction immunity. Cunning Strike, Distracting Impact, Instant Distraction, Swap, and Distraction. Swap and Distraction is actually good. It's basically a free swap. The rest of the moveset's not anything special, but it does at least have an impact. Unlike Capro. Actually, Capro does have a ferocious move, but we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Capro anymore. So, yeah, that's Dodicarus Gen 2. Number 36, we have the other rare amphibian, rare non-hybrid amphibian, Coolosuchus Gen 2. I think this is slightly better than Dodicarus Gen 2, but you could swap these two around. It's got more health, much more base damage, 1 more speed, same cunning strike, same as the distraction, but distracting impacts replaced with distracting strike. But it'll still do the same damage, and its strike will, it's like cunning strike will do more damage. Because the Dodicarus Gen 2's distracting impact is 1500, and this one's distracting strike is 1500. But this one does not have swap and distraction. If it had swap and distraction, this would undoubtedly be better than Dodicarus Gen 2. But yeah. At number 35, we have basically an upgraded Tupendaculus. It's the Sungaripterus. So this thing has 3450 health, which is more than Tupendaculus. Got a little bit more attack, 1 less speed. Shouting Strike, Ferocious Strike, Fierce Impact, Armor Piercing Counter, and Swap and Ferocity. You can actually double stack Ferocities with this. Swap and Ferocity, and then you'll do a counter attack doing 1500. And a new Ferocious Strike, which will stack the Ferocities and do 2000 damage, and then you'll have 1500 counterattacks. And a Fierce Impact of 2250. But that may be a bit hard because this thing has pretty low health, so it won't survive that long. But it's worth a try if you're going against something with low damage, like a low damage resilience or something. Or Caprasuchus. But yeah, that's Sungaripterus. Number 34, we have Amargasaurus. I would say this is the best. No, second best rare sauropod. It's got high health, 1000 damage, 103 speed. Its only strike, group decelerating impact, and slowing impact. The thing it has over Argentino is the fact that it actually has some decent multipliers. It just doesn't do much damage in general. But it is better than Argentino, and I'll give it that. At number 33, we have Nodosaurus. Nodosaurus, you could probably swap it with Amarga. So it's got 4350 health, 30% armor, 950 damage, 115 speed, 50% speed decrease, 1% vulnerable resistances, spear vulnerability, decelerating impact, and group taunting shields. Hold on. You can do superior vulnerability and then decelerating impact, and that will do some okay damage. I believe it'll do 2130 something, I think. 2137 damage. Which isn't the best, but it's not horrible either, and it has a shield. You could swap this with the Margosaurus, though. It doesn't matter. Number 32, we have Gorgosaurus, which I think is slightly better than the two below it. It's got 4500 health, 25% armor, 1000 damage, and 115 speed, so slightly better stats than Nodo. Resilient Strike is always good. Group Decelerating Rampage is good, and Taunting Bellows, meh. I mean, it has a Rampage, and you can't say that about most of the rares so far. The only ones you can say that about about so far are Tupendaculus, Tupendaculus, and Bahada if you count Devastation as Rampage. Yeah, this doesn't have a counter like Tupendaculus, but I think the tankiness makes up for that. Number 31, we have Parasaurus. We're starting to get into the mediocre, starting with Gorgosaurus, we were getting from the bad territory into the mediocre territory. So yeah, this is, Parasaurus. You probably know what it does. So, 3000 health, 1300 attack, 126 speed, Cunning Strike, Distracting Impact, and Cunning Impact. You're just gonna spam impacts all day. Usually Cunning Impact, then Distracting Impact, and then Cunning Impact again to work if the cooldown's the best. Yeah. Need I say more? Number 30 through 27 are going to be the 4 rare raptors in a row, and you can switch these around all you want, but I'm going to go with how I would rank them. At number 30, we have Delta. This one used to be the best of the rare raptors, but now I think it's the worst. 2400 health is awful. 1300 damage is admittedly not that good for raptor. 131 speed's good. Strike, pounce, impact, and run. You're just gonna pounce and then impact and run. But that's rather unreliable because resilient is pretty common in the rare category and higher up. But with Dodicarus, Elasmotherium, Draco Rex, and Giraffatitan and whatnot. The second worst one at number 29, I think, is Utah Raptor. This one has even worse health at 2250, better attack at 1400, and less speed at 128. Strike, pounce, and cutting impact. Yeah. Actually, I think Delta and Utah could be swapped around, and then the next two could be swapped around with each other. 28 we have Charlie. This is basically just a better Utah Raptor. It's got less health, more damage, more speed, and the exact same moveset. It's just a slightly better Utah. So yeah. And then you could swap Charlie around with Echo, which is the best of the rare raptors, and is at number 27. This one actually has a somewhat unique moveset compared to the other two. So it's got same health as Charlie with like 100 less damage and 1 less speed. Its stats are worse, yes, but I think its moveset's better. It's got Cunning Strike instead of Strike like the other three had. Precise Pounce, so it can actually deal dodge, and Cleansing Impact to cleanse off that D-Cell stuff. And it's not good. And it's not good at all, but it's better than I think it's better than the other raptors. Although you can swap this around with Charlie. Moving away from the raptors, at number 26 we have Parasaurus. Where is Parasaurus? There it is. So it's got good health, some armor, low attack, low speed, vulnerability strike, binding impact, and ferocious impact. A vulnerable ferocious impact is one of the deadliest combos of the rare category. So you can do vulnerable strike, do 1000 damage. Now you can do ferocious impact, do whatever 2250 times 1.5 is. In fact, I'm actually going to do that. 2250 times 1.5. 3375. That's a lot of damage. Oh yeah, it also has no escape. However, this combo used to be like much stronger when it had 1200 damage. So what's 1200 times 2.25, and that times 1.5? 4050. That's a lot. But yeah, it's still not a bad rare. Number 25, we have one of the more recently added rares, Gorgonops. So this thing, it's got low health, low attack, extremely high speed. In fact, the highest speed of any rare, and it can't be distracted. Distraction, Cunning Impact, and Revenge Rampage. Revenge Rampage is really good, but its damage is rather low. And I guess Cunning Impact's okay, Distraction's meh. It just doesn't do enough, but it's not bad. Number 24, we're going to start getting into the decent rares. We have Quetzalcoatlus. This thing has very high health, 5100. That's a lot of health. With 1000 attack and 117 speed. Resilient Strike, Tonic Shields, Impact and Run, and Swap in Defense. You're usually going to come in and do Tonic Shields and then Impact and Run. Or you could just spam Resilient Strike in the Shields just to stall or something. Yeah, that's Quetzal. At number 23, we have Megalosaurus. Where is it? There it is. Megalosaurus, it's not as good as it was before, but it's still pretty alright. 3900 health, 1000 attack, 105 speed. It apparently can't be distracted, which is interesting. Resilient Strike, Taunting Shields, Ferocious Strike, and Armor Piercing Counter. Ferocious Strike's actually pretty good for a counterattacker. Especially a counterattacker that isn't as frail as some of the other ones are. So you could get consistent 1500 damage counterattacks off, and that's nice. At number 22, we have Myolania. Myolania is a shell of its former self. but I don't think it's bad. 3,300 health with 50% armor. That's a lot of armor. With 1,000 attack, 105 speed, superior vulnerability, lesser emergency heal, and devastation. Actually, how many creatures have lesser emergency heal? Oh, just this. Yeah, lesser emergency heal is admittedly kind of bad. Healing for 1,000 is not very good. But it does have good effective HP with the superior vulnerability devastation combo. Myolania is just, it's better than Baryonyx. No, I'll say that. Number 21, we actually have the... Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, at number 21, we actually have the new rare non-hybrid added in 2.4, Oviraptor. So Oviraptor, it's cunning. So it has Devious Strike, which, if you don't know what that does, A, you should probably watch my 2.4 Patrons Review video, but B, I'll just tell you anyways. 75% chance to dodge for 1 turn, increased critical chance 30% for 2 turns, and attack 1 time, reduce opponent's damage 25% for 2 turns. So it's got that sidestep, which is really good, and Cunning Rampage with 1,300 attack, 2,700 health, 129 speed, and a 15% crit chance with these immunities here. It's okay, I guess. Its damage could be better, though. But it does have the crit chance increase. You're usually going to go either Devious Strike or Sidestep, and then Cunning Rampage. That's Oviraptor. At number 20, we have Titanoboa Gen 2. 4350 health, 1,000 attack, 115 speed, 20% crit chance, and these pretty good resistances here. With Shielded Accelerating Strike, Precise Rampage, or Precise Impact with On Escape Dust Cloud. Precise Impact's pretty bad. You're mostly just going to use Precise Rampage and Shielded Decel Strike. But it is good for dealing with the annoying swapping in Nizudos and Draco Rexes and stuff. So that's that. At number 19, we have Gorgosaurus. The first of the 2 big rare chompers. So this thing has 4,200 health, 1,700 attack, 102 speed. This thing is horrifically slow. And 20% crit chance. Here, 100% speed decrease immunity, which is, in this rarity, really only going to help against Argentinosaurus speed ties. Although, in other rarities, it would, I guess, help against a Pato, which you would beat anyways. But yeah, Gorgosaurus, it's good, I guess. We're moving into the good rares. Fierce Strike's alright, Fence Shattering Impact's good, Ferocious Strike's good. Usually gonna go Ferocious Strike, which 2550 times 1.5, which is, I think, about 3775, I think, on the impact, which is pretty good. Yeah. Number 18, we have Nodosaurus. 4,800 health to 20% armor. That's quite a lot of effective HP. 1,000 damage, 109 speed. Long Decelerating Strike. I believe this is the only creature with that move. Distraction, which I don't really know why it has Distraction. And Greater Stunning Strike with Swap and Stunning Strike. It's actually a pretty good Ceratopsian. And those are pretty rare nowadays. You usually swap in Stunning Strike, and then either Distraction or Long Decel Strike, probably Long Decel Strike, and then Greater Stunning Strike, and then you swap out. Yeah, it's good. Dark Rex is better, though. Number 17, we have Baryonyx Gen. 4350 health, 1,000 attack, 115 speed. Zillion Strike, Group Taunting Shield Strike, and Rampage Run with Swap Invincibility. Rampage Run is actually really good on this, in my opinion. You usually swap in with the invincibility and then go for a shield and then Rampage and Run. Which, actually, I think you'll still be in because of the swap in pinning. So then you can go Resilient Strike or actually you can go for shield again and then Rampage and Run again. And it's got okay survivability. This is pretty good. Number 16, we have Carnotaurus. This counterattacker here. 3,600 health, 1,000 attack, 104 speed. Yes, the base stats are terrible, but the moveset's actually really good. Vulnerability Strike, Tonic Shields, Cleansing Impact, and Greater Rending Counter. You can do Vulnerable, which will, and then you'll have the counterattack, which will do even more damage because of the Vulnerable. Or you actually, most people usually just go Tonic Shields in turn 1, and then Cleansing Impact, if they survive that long. If he can survive, then this thing is actually really good, because of that Greater Rending Counter. Number 15, we have Spinosaurus, which is the actually good rare bleeder. Rare non-hybrid bleeder. 3,600 health, 1,000 attack, 122 speed. Fierce Strike, Lethal Wound, Fierce Impact, and no escape. The main problem is it doesn't do that much damage outside of the bleed, and it's got pretty low health, but it does what it does. Lethal Wound and no escape's a good combo, and Spinosaurus is good. Number 14, we have Arctops. This is basically Gorgonops, but better. It's got slightly less health, much more damage, and one less speed point with the same immunities. Distraction, Revenge Distracting Strike, which is Distracting Strike, but it's Debilitating Distraction on Revenge, and Rampage. Yeah, you usually bring it in with Revenge, and then either do Revenge Distracting Strike or Rampage. So yeah. It does what it needs to do. Number 13, we have Erlich Gentoo. You can swap Erlich Gentoo and Arctops around. So, same health as Arctops, less damage, less speed, different resistances, minimal speed up strike, precise rampage, and debilitating distraction. Debilitating distraction is very good. It's one of my favorite moves to use. Because it reduces damage by 75% for 2 turns. That's pretty nice. Precise rampage is also good. And minimal speed up strike is pretty cool as well. Erlich Gentoo is good. Number 12, we have Dilophosaurus. This thing was so bad before 2.0, and then it became so good in 2.0. 3,600 health, 1,300 attack, 124 speed. Cunning Strike, Distracting Impact, Cunning Rampage. It actually has a Rampage now, which is nice. You usually go Distracting Impact turn 1, and then Cunning Rampage, and that's pretty good damage. I believe that's 45-50 damage in 2 turns, and that's good. So yeah, that's Dilophosaurus, and it's cool. Number 11, we have Dimetrodon, which you can swap around with Dilophosaurus. 4,200 health, 1,400 attack, 113 speed, and these immunities here. Defense Shouting Strike, Defense Shouting Impact, and Critical Impact. Critical Impact's actually really good. You'll do, I believe, about 2650, I think, with the Critical Impact, so it's almost a Rampage. And then Defense Shouting Impact do 2,100. That's pretty good. And it's got decent survivability with very good resistances. Dimetrodon's good. You can swap it with Dilophosaurus, though. Number 10, we have T-Rex Gen 2. This is the second of the big rare chompers. It's got more health than Gorgosaurus, more damage, more speed, same crit chance, Fierce Strike, Defense Shouting Impact, and Armor Piercing Rampage. It won't deal as much damage with, like, Ferocious boosted stuff and whatnot, but it's generally more reliable. It can survive more, it's faster, so it can actually outspeed, like... It actually doesn't outspeed much more, but it outspeeds a Marga, speed ties with Carno. Yeah. And our Rampage is always nice. Number 9, we have Ornithomimus. This one is pretty cool. Yeah. 3,000 health, 1,600, that's a lot of damage. 131 speed with these immunities. Evasive Strike, I can't talk. Rampage Run, and Instant Distraction is pretty cool. Yeah. Usually go either Instant Distraction or Evasive Strike, and then you do a really big 3,200 damage Rampage Run. And that will kill quite a few things. We're getting into the truly great rares. Anyways, at number 8, we have Dodicarus. 4,200 health with 50% armor. That is actually... That's one of the highest effective HP amounts in the entire game. I believe that is... Let me think about this. 6,300 effective HP, I think. That's a lot. With 1,200 damage, which is pretty respectable, and 111 speed with these resistances. Oh, I forgot it wasn't immune. I thought it was immune to D-Cell, but I was wrong. Whatever. Resilient Strike, Resilient Rampage, Group Tonic Shields. Resilient Rampage is always nice. Resilient Strike's always nice. Group Tonic Shields is okay. This thing is just a beast that doesn't like to die. It takes a while to bring this down without having a shattering creature or armor piercing creature. Anyways, at number 7 we have the best, in my opinion, rare cunning, rare non-hybrid cunning. Keep forgetting to say non-hybrid. Kalenkin. I'd say this is just a slightly better Ornithomimus. Same health, same damage, same speed. Less resistances. Sidestep, Breaking Claws, Evasive Strike, and Swap and Dodge. So you get a free swap. You either do Sidestep or Evasive Strike. You'll mostly do Sidestep. And then Breaking Claws doing 3,200 damage, and you don't actually have to swap out with it. Yeah, this thing... I remember when this thing had, I believe it was in 2.2 or 2.1, this thing had 1,700 base damage. So Breaking Claws would do 3,400. That one-shot quite a few things in the rare tournament at that time. And yes, there was a rare tournament at that time. And it was pretty cool. It was very, very, very fun to use this one. Anyways, at number 6, we have Elasmotherium. Elasmotherium is amazing. 4,500 health to 30% armor. It's very tanky with 1,250 attack and 108 speed and D-Cell immunity with Shielded Tonic Strike, Resilient Impact, and Taunting Rampage. So you're going to do quite a bit of damage over 2 turns with an Impact and a Rampage. Resilient Impact is the Impact as well, and that's amazing. That's like a really good Impact. So yeah, Elasmotherium. It's great. 5. We have Draco Rex. This is the best swap-in based rare non-hybrid. 4,800 health, 1,100 attack, and 124 speed. With Superiority Strike, which is actually one of the few creatures left with that. It's just this, Carnotaurus, Entelchops, Pteroquetzal, Suchotator, and Thylacotator. And Instant Charge with Swap and Resilient Strike. This is the only creature with Swap and Resilient Strike, by the way. And that is great. Swap and Resilient Strike is very, very good. You swap in, you do a hit, you slow, you remove dodge and cloak, yeah. Apparently it also cleanses distraction, which is kind of useless when you're swapping in, but whatever. I mean, it could be alright if they swap in distraction creature at the same time you bring this in. So you usually swap this in, do Resilient Impact and an Instant Charge, and then you either keep going with impacts, or you swap out. But this thing can survive a lot with 4,800 health. And its damage is better than Nizidoceratops, and it actually has a multiplier, unlike Nizido. So yeah, this thing is just great. On number 4, we have Moschops. 4,500 health to 25% armor. Very tanky. 1,000 attack, 113 speed. Can't be stunned, can't be slowed. Resilient Strike, Revenge and Accelerating Impact, Precise Rampage, and Swap and Slow. So that you're gonna bring, well, your other creature's gonna die. You're gonna bring this in. You're gonna do Revenge, Accelerating Impact, and then Precise Rampage, which is 2 rampages at 4,000 damage over 2 turns. And what's best is you can keep cycling between those. You'll have an Impact and a Rampage you'll keep cycling through, and you can do Resilient Strike whenever you need to. This thing is it's very consistent. In terms of like its amount of its damage output, and it's tanky, and it's not the slowest thing in the world either. Moschops is good. Number 3, we have the best rare non-hybrid resilient. I keep forgetting to say that. Giraffatitan. Giraffatitan is like Brachiosaurus, but a little bit worse. 5,700 health with 10% armor, 1,000 attack, and 107 speed with these resistances, and a 20% crit chance. Resilient Strike, Taunting Bellow, Rampage, Swap, and Slow. So let's compare this with Brachiosaurus. It's got less health, less speed, less crit chance. I believe it actually might have the exact same resistances. I'm not 100% sure. Same as Only Strike. It doesn't. It has Taunting Bellow, while Bracky has, I believe, Group Taunting Shield Strike. And then it says Rampage instead of Resilient Rampage. And this has Swap and Soil, while Bracky doesn't. This thing is just great. It just tanks so much. And its damage output's not the worst either. Yeah, this thing is your #1 tank for the rare non-hybrid seed. Anyways, at #2 we have the truly just busted rare non-hybrids. The first one being Marsupial Lion. This thing is very, very powerful. It beats so many other powerful rares. I believe it beats Rex Gentoo. It beats Dimetrodon. It beats Dodicarus. It beats Elasmotherium. It beats Draco Rex. It beats Moschops, and it absolutely destroys Giraffe Titan. So let's get into it. 4,050 health, 1,000 attack, and 117 speed with 40% crit chance. I know you're gonna say, "Wow, these base stats, they don't actually seem that good," but that's not what's good about it. It can't be slowed, which is cool. Its moveset is absolutely bonkers. You're gonna do minor rending attack. You're gonna take away 1/3 of their health. Then you're gonna do a 500 damage medium counterattack. Then you're gonna do a rending takedown and take away 60% of their health. Which, with that 34% and the medium counterattack, it won't even matter if you get a crit on anything. Because they're gonna be dead unless they distract or dodge it. And you don't even need to worry about not killing them because you have a 40% crit chance. What? This thing is just amazing. So yeah. Oh yeah, it also has Prowl, which you're not going to use too much of this, but it's nice to have. Anyways, let's go to our #1. The one, the only, Andrew Sarkis. One of the just most ridiculously powerful creatures for their rarity. So 3300 health. The main downside of this is its health's not very good. 1400 attack, 125 speed, 40% crit chance, and it can't be slowed. Cleansing Strike, Fierce Impact, Rending Takedown, and No Escape. No Escape is what makes this better than Marsupial Lion. So you can do Fierce Impact, you can do 2100 damage. Then you can do Rending Takedown and take away 60% of their health. Which should be enough to kill them most of the time. Yeah. In fact, I think if they have 45 or 100 or less, they're going to die unless they distract or dodge or stun. And it has a 40% crit chance for things that have even higher health, like Giraffe Titan and Draco Rex. Oh yeah, and no escape means they can't swap out. So if you're a tank without swap prevention resistance, then have fun dealing with this thing. It's not going to go very well for your tank. Yeah, this thing is just, it's amazing. It can cleanse distraction even with Cleansing Strike. Alright, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks to Molten Rage for helping me with deciding the rankings in Discord. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.